Welcome to the Gentlemen's Club Podcast, episode 5-7.
5-7?
Yes.
Trying to keep you on your toes.
No, I see you. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it. It's your boy Cardell over here to my left.
Amanda.
Over there in the back.
Hey guys, it's me, Zach.
Hey, y'all can't see him, but Zach is fresh off of his corporate job. Mm-hmm. Looking like he owns 17 restaurants. Just keeping it a buck with you.
And the outfit is completed with the Nike sandals.
I was about to say, you did switch up the shoes.
I was not wearing those whole fucking time.
That's good. But how are you guys?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I said
Yeah. Now we here.
Yeah.
No, that tells you all you really need to know. Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I guess we'd have to save some of the things that we were talking about beforehand for a later time.
Yeah.
I'm all right, man. This is way later after Father's Day weekend. Mm-hmm. Oh, how was your Father's Day?
It was magical. I'm over exaggerating. Realistically, I got the best card I've ever gotten for anything ever. Like, period.
Wait, you got the best card?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
Divulge
I
details.
accidentally left it at my parents' house, and like I'm kind of mad about it. Like normally you get like a birthday card or whatever the fuck card, and it's like, oh yeah, thank you, and you never look at it again. At least that's what men do.
You look at the money in the
Yeah,
card.
it's like, all right, how much you give me? But this card, I think I left at my parents' house, and I'm legitimately upset. Like, all right, y'all better not have thrown it out. My sister gave it to me, and it was the do's and don'ts of dads.
Oh,
and
wow.
It was a picture book.
Okay.
Pretty much, but it was very entertaining.
Oh, okay. Aww. Beautiful. Very good thing, man.
Shout out to her baby sister.
For sure. Don wasn't feeling too good. I was actually supposed to go get him so we could do some things and whatnot, but he wasn't feeling too good. But yeah, he was upset. He's like, man, I'm sorry I didn't get you a gift. And it was kind of one of those conversations, the dad conversations where it's like, dude, you are the gift. And it sounded super corny, but it was the realest thing. Like, he called me. It's like, that's all I needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't need anything else. So it was cool.
Shout out to all the dads out there.
For sure.
You are the gift. That is so adorable.
Yeah, I meant it though, because he felt a way about it, and I was like, dude, I don't care about that, man. Like, you're a great son. That's as long as you keep doing great things and being the person that you are, man. You
called me. That's honestly
that's all I needed.
More than I thought.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I'm like tearing up over here. So sweet.
Speaking of Father's Day, there was the Red Table Talk with Will Smith. He invited Kevin Hart.
Yep.
Two Philly brothers.
Yeah, that was a beautiful thing, and it was a really good conversation. They kept it real, right? Mm-hmm. Not as real as I would like them to, which I know we're not always going to try to dig up the past and whatnot, but they talked about some very real things.
Yeah,
but they are also two of the most PC famous black people that we have.
Yeah, that's a fact. Very much in the spotlight.
There was a really cool moment at the end because basically Kevin Hart was promoting his Fatherhood movie, which is on Netflix. Look at me. I'm like, is this a promotion?
Yeah.
Anyways, he was promoting that movie, Fatherhood, and there was this really sweet moment between them because obviously Will Smith is an icon. I mean, he's an icon, and he's also been, I think, an icon for what fatherhood looks like, but what black fathers like. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's been a very huge influence and a good husband, a good father.
Yeah, even if you take the moment from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where he has to break down with Uncle Phil. Like,
why doesn't he love me, man?
Yeah. Everybody knows that that's one of the biggest moments, and like for him to act that out the best way that he could, it sent shockwaves through, especially the black community. You know what I mean?
Pulls at your heartstrings.
Yeah, for sure. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, there was this moment with Kevin Hart where he kind of was just like you could see how genuine, because basically Will Smith complimented him, and he just I could feel the love that was there, of just, I don't know, someone looking up to another person in not only fatherhood but success and all of those things. So that was a beautiful.
Yeah, it's always one thing I say. It's always very interesting. When Father's Day happens, obviously all the fathers will be like, oh, they reach out.
Yeah.
You'll get more of those from the other guys that that are fathers than anybody else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're
Literally, I was just
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day. That was just a text.
To other
Yeah.
fathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's up?
Yeah,
man?
yeah.
It's our day.
So, yeah.
They making you do nothing? Bad.
Yeah. And that's
It's a
kind of
moment, right?
And that's kind of how you just hit somebody on the walkie-talkie. Yo, you good? Like, yeah, I'm chilling, man. It's like, all right, good. Keep doing your thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had another friend of mine I reached out to, and you know, he had a bunch of positive words, and I was like, nah, you got to chill. Like, I look at you like because I had my child early. I'm watching a lot of my friends become great fathers. That's still inspiration for me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that was a really awesome thing. So I had to, you know, I shared that with a few people that were trying to give me words of praise and whatnot. I was like, nah, you tripping. Like, I look at you as inspiration on things that I can still continue to do better with. So
Also, Ashton, I got a million questions about you being a young dad, but what if you could give me like some, like when you found out you were going to be a father, how was that moment for you? Because like I said, I mean, I have a million trillion questions for you, but
I love it. I love it. This works. Number one is panic.
Yeah, of course.
But it's not because you're having a child. It's because if you're not ready, the example that you're about to set, every man goes through that moment where you look in the mirror every day and you reflect on what kind of man you are. And if you're not in the right position to protect, provide, nurture, and be there for your family, that is panic for any man that grew up in my generation, after and before.
Yeah.
So you have to try to get ready.
Thank you for being vulnerable. That's a good answer.
That's just the realest thing ever. Not everybody will say that they're scared, and a lot of people can learn on the fly, and it was great. Like, nah, I was stumbling and all the above. You know, all the mistakes that you can make, I definitely made them. You know what I mean? I'm still learning as I go. It's, you know, it's the typical thing that anybody would say, but yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm getting emotional.
I
What about you, Zach? Yeah, what was your feeling?
I was gonna say, as a man that found out that I was gonna be a first time father at 29 and feeling pretty confident about, like, you know, my life situation where I was, I also panicked.
Yeah.
Like, it was like,
Yeah.
are we really good? Like, can I handle this?
Yeah.
Like, can I give the kid everything that they need?
Yeah.
And what I want and
Yeah.
all this other shit?
Yeah.
And I panicked. I panicked at the gender reveal, man, because because twins run in both of our families. And I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, yo.
What if it's two?
Yeah.
If it's two? What the fuck am I gonna do?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Like,
that's
I'm gonna go get a night shift job right now.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'll see y'all when I see y'all.
Yeah. As it
That's
goes on,
crazy.
you just always worry as a father, period. No matter what you do. Like, you keep it cool as you can on the surface, but you're worried about that. You want to make sure that you do a good job. And I think you find your stride when you realize that you are doing the best that you can.
Yep.
And when you have those foundational moments, I guess, those things that you can instill in your child, like when you're raised by a great parent, all of those things that you pass on, you find a way to take those and apply them to the time that you're in now.
For sure, you mix it up in your own way.
Yeah, so it's like you don't have to follow the same handbook that your father gave you. No, it was given to you for you to use it accordingly to your family in whatever way that you see fit. So
I'll also say this, and Ashton, you can kind of talk to this too. Being a father of a boy, I think that, like, my stress levels dipped a little bit from the beginning. They're still there. Don't get me wrong.
Y'all are boy dads.
Yeah, we are boy dads. It's not as catchy.
No, I tried to make it.
It's not remotely as catchy.
I appreciate the inclusion right there.
But it's just kind of like, okay, I have a little bit of time, but I'm going to make sure that you're going to be a good human, because there's certain examples that you want to make sure your son doesn't follow.
Yeah.
Where I see, like we have friends that have, you know, girls that are girl dads.
Right.
And
Shout out to them.
And always
Love you guys endlessly.
always. There are friends of ours that are girl dads, and I just kind of see it on their face. Like, they're enjoying it. Don't get me wrong; they're enjoying the being a dad part. But it's like they are always in protection mode.
As a man,
Because
of the things that you have done
And
the
know
things
about-
that you have seen and how you know how men can move, your guard and stress levels might be times 2.
But I think that's why it's so important when you guys are boy dads, because you can teach your son not to be that way.
We can be a part of the cure for.
Yeah.
Amanda, have you met my son?
Literally,
I'm trying.
he's stolen my heart. Like so,
See?
like
See?
I am trying.
he is wrapped around my finger. I
my
literally, I can't believe he let me hold him. Did you see that he reached out for me today?
Yeah, I was rocking and kicking it.
Are you guys serious?
I keep every time that you fall for it. It's like, man, no.
Yeah, we laugh about it. It's kind of a joke.
Like I said, guys, I love it and
Yeah.
I accept it.
Yeah.
I accept that I'm being manipulated and I appreciate it.
My son has fully developed his powers at 15 months.
A great actor. A great actor can turn it on and turn it off.
He's a gorgeous kid.
Yeah, for sure. But I think it's a new level of responsibility.
Yes.
To make sure that you are teaching your kid, especially when you're seeing the results of parenthood as the younger generation behind us is growing up, and the things that are going, the positives and negatives.
But that's like what kind of, I was like, that's a perfect segue.
Yeah.
I'm with the segues now.
Okay.
No, you're not supposed to call out
My
segues,
bad.
but anyway.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Some people do.
So on the Red Table Talk, there was a really, really amazing, and like I said, I felt so strongly about this clip.
Okay.
They were kind of talking about, they are both girl dads. I mean, they're also boy dads. What
Yeah.
is it when you're both dads? I don't know. But
I don't know.
Dad.
Yeah.
but yeah, Will Smith was talking about, Zach, could you pull that up for us?
I have a cute.
Oh, perfect. So there was a clip that kind of, they started talking about what it means to be a girl dad and what girls teach you as a father.
Okay.
The timestamp you sent me was correct.
Yeah, the second one.
It was only like 10-second difference.
Yeah, the bottom one. Yeah. We just need to get in that 10 seconds. So it's so important.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how important the seconds are when it comes to clips.
I'm not doing this interview.
No, you got to pause that.
This red table's canceled.
There you go.
Well, that's at the beginning of the clip.
Yeah.
I had to set like wave after this. And
Okay, and it just went back and did
we
its own
good?
thing?
Yeah.
It sounded like it was the start of like a Pixar movie, which I
Well,
love.
they tried to
definitely
add.
sounds-
Yeah, they tried to add some intro.
Well, he can
and-
get those Pixar sounds.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not
Good
lying.
point.
You're not
All
lying.
right, this should be it though.
I don't think he's going to make it.
This is sad.
This
Are you
is
sure
the
this is the
problem.
right time?
This is deeply
It's 20
unprofessional.
something,
And-
right?
No, that's not what the text message says. That is definitely not what the text message says.
It's
Amanda's
2.
fucking.
I meant 20.
Amanda's fucking up, guys. The game is the game.
Oh my God.
yeah,
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
22.
Now 22. All right, are we confident in this?
Yes.
Okay.
I am so sorry.
Because we're already about to get flagged.
Sorry.
And I have to fight with you. Every time we play a clip, I have to fight with you two. I've won every single
Oh,
one
you
of
have.
them.
That's
No,
good.
keep fighting it.
No, we're transparent on this podcast.
I lost Andrew Schultz one.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
You want to talk to me about a feeling?
Yes, this is
It's
correct.
like my feelings, so definitely yours. Right? And I literally had to learn how to care about how people feel. And I messed it up with Trey and I messed it up with Jaden. And Willow was the one. Willow was the one of my kids that got me. And she would just look, and it was so strange to her. She's like, but Daddy, you don't care how I feel? And I'm like, yes, baby, I do care how you feel, but you still have to do what you said you were going to do. Yeah, right, I don't want to, Daddy. And it was like, and she really got me to understand nothing matters but how people feel. And if you don't care how somebody feels, it is the deepest betrayal. And you can get away with it a little bit with your.
Is that
that was a great point. That was a great point.
I try not to play too much because
Yeah, trust me, I get it.
No, that shit spoke to me because I feel like and he goes on to say like it's a vile, abusive act when you don't listen to somebody how they feel.
Was there more along those lines of the father-daughter relationship that you wanted to pull from? Yeah.
I mean, he mentions in the clip too of like, so obviously, I'm not a parent, but I have a father who I challenge a lot, and I will say,
How convenient.
and he definitely, I'm sure he's like it's like I'm his greatest blessing, but also his biggest
Curse.
Yes,
To a degree.
I think that what he was trying to say is that we in our society, men, we sometimes like hide the. I mean, as fathers, they sometimes shield their son from those feelings.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you're forced into learning about how you feel from
Yeah.
your daughter.
Okay.
And when he mentions in the clip too, like in a later down the line, he goes like, "Oh, we can get away with it with our sons," which I think is one of the biggest issues I have.
Let's circle around back to that. I
Yeah.
definitely want to come back to that.
Yeah, so I think that with your daughter, you can't avoid those conversations because she needs you.
Yeah. She needs you to be emotionally present.
Yeah, not
Which is
just
a very big thing.
not just the safety, not just the financial,
Right.
but she needs you emotionally. And I will argue that your son needs you emotionally just as much.
Yeah. I can somewhat speak to that. I know that I'm definitely more of the sensitive type, and because I had to adjust in I would guess I don't know if you would say that's the opposite direction, but I had to suppress a lot of that. Mm-hmm. As time is going on and you're seeing the results of hiding that, suppressing how you feel and how it affects you as an adult, now we're changing the course. Me and Dom's mom are both actively trying to address feelings and not suppress them because we realize what it does, me being an example of how it affects you as you get older.
Yeah.
So that's that's definitely a big thing for us right now.
Let me ask you guys, how many times have you seen your father cry?
Seen my father tear up once, and it tied into my personal safety. He did not want to see me go down a certain path that I was going, and that was one of the very few times that I saw him emotional outside of funerals.
And it affected you.
Of course. I can say that the void of my father's really good at that. So I can't necessarily say speaking to that from a father's lens.
I meant like his crying. I'm sorry, I should have worded that better.
No, my bad. I tried to take off with that.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of meant like his. I'm not gonna assume that it affected you emotionally. I meant like when he cried, it affected you. You were like, wow, I was moved by that.
Yeah, it humanizes him.
Yes.
It's just like every kid looks at their dad like Superman. But for me, when I could see that you can show emotion, it's like, oh, I can talk to you now. Like I can actually engage with you in personal stuff. And I had already had that relationship with my dad, but I just remember when I realized, it's like, oh, damn, you got emotions too. You feel deeply too. That's crazy.
It make you feel less alone too.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's extremely important, especially nowadays with all the things that kids are going through in general. Got to tap into
so many damn emotions right now.
Yeah, you got to tap into
generation.
those. You can't just skip over them.
What about you, Zach?
I've been thinking about this since you asked it. I don't know if I can even think of a time where I actually saw my dad cry.
Do you? What does that say to you in your own personal opinion? As you're thinking about it, like, what does it say? Does it say that he's completely strong and just handles his emotions in his own private time? Like, how? Like, can we delve in deeper? You get where I'm trying to go?
Yeah.
No, I get where you're trying to go.
Okay.
It used to be that way to me until I became emotionally aware. And I dealt with my own emotions. I had to figure that out on my own.
Right.
And with that, I was able to see, now I can clearly see when people are and are not dealing with their emotions. And I can see it with my own dad, and it's just like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
I understand, like, I can see the frustration. I can see the anger when he is emotional now. I understand what it is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, now I deal accordingly. But we've never communicated that way.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn how to be able to like read the cues.
Okay.
And understand, okay, I have to change up
Yeah.
how I'm having this conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I can say that with me having to suppress mine and then go out into the world and try to function,
Yeah.
that starting off that way it's just not a good road to start with. Especially when you realize that your child has feelings, because I felt like my emotions weren't important. I treated them as such as I moved around.
Yeah.
And I have to reverse that and then teach it to my son. So it feels like twice the workload.
Well, the problem is that there's a lot of dads that aren't emotionally intelligent.
Yeah,
So when they have an emotional son, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
exactly.
Their
It changes
response is the terms that we've all heard and we all cringe at. Just like, all right, man up, men don't cry.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
all of those things. Those turn into very big issues later.
But I want to speak too, like, one of the things my dad was, he's a great person. So I just want to preface that. And I wouldn't share this if he wouldn't be okay with it. But my dad expressed emotion and anger. That's, and it's because of how he grew up. And he's grown so much. I just want to shout out to him. Like he, when I was younger, he expressed anger like that. And I mirrored that. And all of my emotions, I've been working through this my whole life, have been anger. If I'm sad, I'm angry. If I'm hurt, I'm angry. Whatever it is, I show it in anger because I kind of mirrored that. And when I went through therapy and became more emotionally intelligent, I challenged my dad a lot. And we've been working together now to undo a lot of those things.
Round of applause for that. I like that.
Yeah, shout out to him though.
That's a very beautiful thing.
Shout out to my dad because my dad is a lot older than I, and it's a lot harder to change when you're older.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm young. I can still, do this. It's a lot harder to change. So, but I think I know we talk a lot about how men's emotions affect men, but it affects, like I said, I wanted to be him so bad.
Yeah. So when you see how he handles certain things, you're just like, okay, so mental note, this is how I need to handle that.
Right. And if I would have seen a variety of emotions in him, I think I could have mirrored that as well. And it's kind of like that. It's like suppressing those kind of feelings. It's like I didn't even realize I was suppressing those things.
Right. Yeah, there's a situation that I recognized within myself, and then as it goes down the line, when you see that your parents are stressed out, as children, we're going to try to put our own personal feelings to the side in order to accommodate them. I did it.
Right.
I'm watching my son do it, and I'm trying to go around that by just leveling with him and actually acknowledging how I personally feel. I realize that there has to be some type of cap on that, because if you do too much, then they're too concerned about how you feel. But I still want to be able, instead of standing above you and talking down to you about feelings and what you're going through, I want to sit on the floor with you so I can level with you. And it's like, yo, I know how this feels, and give them an example of something that I went through so they know that I've been through it.
And also, like, first of all, you guys have such a hard job. Like, I'm stressed out just thinking about being a parent. But I think that when I got in trouble or did something, like, my parents were just angry towards that situation. They're just like, I'm disappointed in you.
Right.
I think it would be cool too to like share your opinion about the situation. Like if he's hurt and he's upset about something, or he messed up and you're just like, this is how I feel about it.
Over time. That's just something I'm really trying to do. I'm trying to address every single emotion that you could be possibly feeling. I don't want to skip over any of it.
Right.
Because when your parents are talking to you, sometimes you feel like you do a good job because you just talked about the issue, you addressed how you feel, you gave them the words of wisdom that you knew that either you developed or was passed down to you, and then you think that the problem is okay. No, it's not. You got to go back and check up on that.
Yeah.
Whatever might be an issue here might not have been fully cleared, and it could develop into an issue later. You got to constantly check in with your kids. You don't have to be so overly emotional, but you can be empathetic to how they're feeling. And that opens up an opportunity for them to talk to you about how they feel. Like I had the hardest time with talking to my parents about how I felt because
and being vulnerable with your parents.
Exactly. Show your children that you can be vulnerable too.
Yeah.
They think that they have to be like you. You are the example.
So when you're perfect and you never are upset, or you're never hurt, or you're never like that. I mean, you are that way, but you don't show it to me.
Right.
Then
and
I think I can't be that way either.
We're thinking that it's protecting them, but there is a darker side to that teaches them to suppress their emotions. So being real with your kids with a parental lock on it. Obviously, you don't want to share too much with your children that they're not ready for, but level with them. Like, be in that with them, because when you're talking to them from a situation that you've already been through, but you're not actually sitting like, fam, like, yeah, that's great. You got through it. That's super cool. Glad for you. I'm going through it.
Right.
Like, that's how it feels for them.
Wanna,
like,
yeah, you don't want to diminish their
their
experience.
world is small, man. So it's like, bro, like, yeah, that's great. You got there. You're trying to talk to me from the finish line, and I just started.
I remember like when you're in a relationship and you're young, and then people just tell you, no, you're going to have a lot of relationships. I'm like, well, I'm dealing with this now, and this shit hurts. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I imagine when you're talking.
That's very discouraging.
Yeah, it's like,
very
or you'll be like,
discouraging.
oh, that friend wasn't even meant for you. And I'm like, well, it hurts now. Like, I'm a child and this hurts. Because you're right. Their world is small and this is major to them.
I've gone through that to a small degree.
I think I've been that old guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've been, bro.
I have too. I'm like, that
have,
dude, you ain't worried about him.
You're gonna have 19 million of these, and you're gonna feel like it's the end of the world. I promise it's not.
But that doesn't
3 years
help.
from now,
Yeah.
you're gonna think about this girl and be like, "Oh God,
I was tripping. And even though we're telling them the truth, there's nothing wrong with leaving that truth right there.
Sure.
But level with them in what they're going through.
And you can say that, but say other things. Say
Of
other
course.
supportive things.
Yeah. You can't just. It can't just be the typical stuff.
I think the way that you got to do it is you got to level with them, you got to relate, you got to share a little story, and then it's like, but it's okay.
Yeah. This is what I learned. I promise if you stick with this, I can almost guarantee you this is where it's going to go. And if it doesn't go, guess who the fuck is going to be there?
Let me tell
This
you.
guy.
Let me tell you something that my mom has done and has been so supportive. Is that I don't know. There's something about like there have been times where I've been so hurt or sick or whatever it is, and my mom will sit there and be just as sad and crying and just as sad as me. And I'm like, that is love. That is true love, because my mom has been like, it's like she just want to take the pain off of me. You know what I mean? And that's been the most supportive. She not even said anything. She just like, I'm sorry. I wish I could do something.
Can I give you the opposite side of that from a parent? Because they already know what the finish line looks like.
Yeah.
They want to prepare you for what you're going to go through. And a lot of times that is a father role. It's just like, look,
Right.
That's why
Like
I feel
your mom does that part. Yeah.
But I feel like that's where the whole man up and the tough lessons, that's where those come in, because it's just like, listen.
But it's hard when you don't have two parents, because then you're missing one of those parts.
That's a fact. That's a big fact.
Sorry to interrupt you, but that I was just like,
No, that's a real thing. Is I grew up in a split parent, so I understand what you're saying. So, but
yeah, I get what you mean.
getting there and telling them about the struggles, you just don't. That comes from a love that's like, I don't want you to have to suffer, and I need you to look ahead. The message isn't wrong. It's just how it's delivered.
You need balance.
Yeah, there needs to be a balance. After we get through the emotional part and we acknowledge your feelings and I level with you, okay, so
how are we going to do this?
yeah, so how you looking at it? Like, okay, let me tell you what may come up. This is what comes down the road. These are things that you may experience.
And I think too, I was like, this could be. When I heard it too, I wasn't even, because I'm not a parent, so it's hard for me to resonate 100%. But I was thinking about relationships. I was like, man, if we had this kind of balance in relationships where you can really understand somebody's feelings like that and like connect with them. And when he said like, it is a vile act when you don't care about someone's feelings. Like I felt like I've been in relationships too, where I felt like you don't care about my feelings.
I personally wanted to address something that I know that I'm capable of. So I can be very much all about feelings, emotions, and how you feel. That is directly how I connect with anybody that I'm in a relationship with or that I'm interested in. But once that line is crossed, there's a survival mode that people go into. So guess what I can't do? I cannot care about your feelings right now. And that's a very difficult and tricky place to be, because me being there in that space is just like, wait, you don't care about my
See,
emotions?
this is the biggest disconnect I have with men. I'm gonna be 100.
Yeah.
Like I this is the biggest thing I will never understand, and that may be okay. But I
Listen,
think a lot of men feel that way, and I cannot understand it. And I'm sure they can't understand me either.
I might be able to speak to it.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, you jump in whenever you
What's the
feel necessary.
Scooby thing?
Ride
Like,
it.
Yeah.
bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, there you go.
But listen, okay, so when a man is choosing to be vulnerable and soft with you, right? We are completely there, completely understanding. That's why they say like everything was so great in the beginning and then you changed.
Yes.
Well, something changed. We don't know. We don't necessarily know what, but sometimes men go into survival mode, spending all that time and energy catering to your feelings. Sometimes you're not necessarily addressing the man's feelings, and we're wired that way. We've conditioned ourselves that way. Mm-hmm. So sometimes those emotions come up and we don't know what the fuck to do. I just know that I have to be there for you regardless, no matter what. So I push all my shit to the back.
And you keep doing that and keep doing that.
Until you fall apart. And then you go to take a step to keep doing what you're normally doing and you fall apart. And the shame that comes in that because of the way that we're wired.
Holy shit.
I lost a step.
I had an aha moment like, wow.
Now my pride is affected. I lost a step. Usually I got you covered and I can't do it right now. And then you're looking at me crazy like, why can't you be here for me?
And part of the lack of the emotional intelligence is like, you don't communicate it.
I was about to say that, but I was like, thank you for saying that.
And a lot of the times we're missing that part. We're missing that part of knowing how to communicate.
And it goes back to
the way that we were raised, the things that we are taught, and the things that we see, which is
little boys are raised to just deal with stuff.
That
for better or worse.
That is a luxury that women do have. That's why a lot of fathers, they do soften up and they can be there. Because I know, baby girl, that's how you're wired. Daddy's got you. You're my little girl. Of course. I can't say that it's always reciprocated.
No, I mean, what Will said, he literally said, I forgot his.
Nobody cares about my feelings.
No, yeah, and no. He said yes, absolutely. He said nobody cares about my feelings, but he also said like with his two sons, like he could get away with it. And again, like even that narrative, it's like you're doing your sons a disservice when you're saying, oh well, other men in his life will suppress his feelings. You're like, what? No, you supposed to be better than that. But he's saying like, oh well, they didn't ask for it. But Willow's like, oh, I'm demanding.
Yeah, no, I need this.
Yeah, and
for sure.
And I think. Yeah, that's a great point of, and I think, I don't know, I've been seeing on social media that it's like Men's Health Week or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's like Father's Day.
But
you sounded so proud to mention that.
Hey, it's like Father's Day.
No, you guys, I'm so sorry.
I'm messing with you.
I meant it as like, I hope I'm saying the right thing.
I saw it. I see those things and want to share it, but to be real with you, because nobody gives a fuck, I never.
Okay, let me say it in a better way because I didn't mean to say it disrespect. I meant to say it like it's Men's Health Week.
Yeah.
Yay! But I didn't realize it was. Anyways, that seems sarcastic. But they were talking about
really
how.
Feeling the love.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
It is what it is.
They were talking about, on a serious note, they were talking about how, suicides for men is so high. And these are direct results of that. And that is a huge issue that we need to be aware of and be fixing.
To tie it into what we're talking about, the reason why men's suicide rate is so much higher than women's is because of men aren't taught to communicate their emotions. They're taught to bottle it in. And the longer you bottle it in, especially when you have shit going on, you've been bullied, cyberbullying, you've got, you feel like you're not loved, you have relationship issues nonstop, you feel like you just can't get above water, and that brings about this great wall of depression that you're taught to just deal with.
Yeah.
And if you don't have an outlet for it that's any kind of positive, or when you do try to express it to the people and people don't want to listen to it, you just kind of put yourself, you find yourself, I don't want to say you find yourself in a situation where you feel like, I have no exit. So.
That's why male role models are so important.
Very true.
Incredible. Mentors are huge.
That's why when I engage with my male friends, I poke personal spots.
You try to be there. You try to be that for them.
Yeah, and it makes people uncomfortable. It puts people off me. People don't want to be my friend because of that. Because I always want to get.
You want to dig? Yes.
I always want to dig deep into that because I realize how important it is because I go through it. So it's just like, nah, I'm sure everything's cool, but it can't just be cool. because I can't be the only one going through it, especially, you know, not the way that we see things. So I try to shake the table when it comes to that. It's not always received the best, but hopefully the efforts are seen and whatnot.
Maybe they're not ready for it, like at that moment, in that time. You know what I mean? But
That's a fact.
They will need it eventually.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Was there anything else from said episode that you wanted to touch on?
Again, I mean, I could be here all day, but those are the main points.
Okay, I appreciate you asking the questions though. That was unexpected.
Ashton, I'm just a ball of
Emotion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And passion. I just be passionate.
Gang. I'm with you on that. Where are we at on time?
We're time.
This is the Gentlemen's Club Podcast.